Okay, chapter 5, the last chapter for this week. So chapter 5 we checked about. Now we focus on a special. In the human body, we have totally 11 organ systems. And honestly, I didn't check the following chapter yet, but I believe the following chapter with each of them will be focused on one organ system. And let's start with the integumentary system. This is is a terminology, is a term. That means the skin, the human, like our integumentary system. Because if you look into the whole animal system, not skin is not always the integumentary. Some other animal use other stuff, but here human we have the skin. Okay, let's start with in let's talk about a lot about the nails and Oni. We mentioned this. Onichi is Onichia, Onicha, whatever. Onich. I think Onich, not my Onich is the name, and then Har Hara Harani shell. That's the tissue so surrounding the nail become infectious by fungi, bacteria, especially after injury. And antinectomy, to net onto nail, actually remove nail, remove. So it means remove the nail. And I hope you still remember actually you remove things. Nail remove means removing the nail. And why people want to do that? No. In most cases, people don't do this. It's mostly used for animals, especially cats. Because cats scratch their back, so some people will remove the first digital finger, the digital bone of the front paws to remove the nail. And however, in Asian China, there's also some torture approach, just take off the nail. Hurt, right? Take the book. Hurt is very painful. It's an anti-activate. And ap ani chiam and hypo hyponychium. And from the word you can say up and below. And what is up, what below? I'll try to draw a finger. A finger without the nail. It's a skin beneath the nail. The nail should be flat. It shouldn't be this side. It's better. This and that. Okay. So what is the aponychium here? This in the fold. The top here is in from the fold to seal the joint between the nail and the skin. Though it's waterproof, this is called aponychium. And what is hyponychium? Is right here, right right at the base of the free edge of the nail. This is hypo gel, also sealed. So this nail is sealed by hypo gel and okay, this is the next one. Only all one process. All the line process. This is the nail now. Our nail is mostly transparent, right? Right, really white and most transparent. And in ornithograph process, the nail is yellow, now transparent, and become long and thick and grow long. And this is not caused by infection. What's the cause? We don't really fully understand what's the cause. Maybe we cause infection? Oh, okay, I forgot. So this caused the infection anyway. So this cause also not from the infection, but what the others one. But the other cause is only mild meiosis, a mycosis. Mycosis means fungal infection. When anything followed by mycosis, that means fungal infection. And onychomycosis means the fungal infection of the nail. This particular fungal infection. And so there's another bacteria. Let's see. Really? In the clinical world, they use those different words. I don't know, but this two the same. Fungal infection of the nail. I'm now really excited about those. Um, what's the next? Onion phagia. Phagia. This is where I hope you can remember this. I can remember microphage, the cell that can eat other cell. Big cell that eat microphage. Microphagia means eat something. Autophagia means eat nail. It's biting the nail, eating the nail. This is some compulsive. Yeah, compulsive. Compulsive is kind of complicated. Let's see. I think I had it before. Soft nail. For most because of nutrient deficiency and many things, many nutrient deficiency cause this one, or just put in finger in water until long. So inflammation of the nail. So those causes of that's it. Well, this is the last one. I've been working here since from the morning, so I'm tired because my voice became lower. This next one, all from Kenya. Kenya means fungal infection. And why in this skin system we have the tinea? Because many of the fungal infection happen in the surface of the skin. So next we just talk about many things that affect different area, fungal infection in different area of the body. And tinea, you know, as the fungal infection with the nail, we just mentioned about. And then tinea pedis. Tinea pedis is the food. And there's another name for it, athletes. Yeah. If we are at this name, only this name, anymore. Pedis. Pedis. Remember, kind of this food we have mentioned before. Tinea fluids. Fluids. Well, mentioned before, these are the infection. Gets warm and more. tinea oboris. Um, that is the uh, I believe oboris from the first with the eye. So fungal infection in the eye. And then this case is often shown as a say wound of redness. This the name called ringworm. Although there's no worm involved at all, so that ringworm is infection and fungus to the surface of the skin. And then if they happen in the in the scalp, we call capitis, capitis, cap, cap or line. It's cap, and it's happened inside the scalp without in a ring in the in the loss of hair in the region. A brighter hair will grow back once the fungus. See, that was the tinea has moved on to the next. So on. Yeah, that's derma. Well, any derma, derma. Anything with start with derma or endosperma is related to the skin. Dermatologist, the guy who makes skin disorders. And the dermomyosis is the fungal infection of the derm of the skin, which is everything we just mentioned. The tinea something is dermomyosis. And here's the skin structure and very many different color. We'll use the surface. Surface and root. This is this I use blue because there's no blood vessel at this level. And then also so here I use but these are the three layers of the skin. This layer is the active surface. This is maybe has also and this is it's the characteristic of the very first when it is too soft. It contains the protein concentration. And then there's no blood vessels, but it's waterproof, doesn't take it always. And then this layer contains a lot of fibroblasts, and the collagen. Fibroblasts produce a lot of collagen. This is a deposit for fat cells. The three layers. And this layer called cervix. And this layer all cervix blood more frequently on the sub. This application is used more frequently. Dermatitis. I think I mentioned this earlier. Dermatitis. This is the inflammation of the skin, but it's very special. It's not related to. I mean, all of those infections we talk about, dermomyosis is caused by fungal infection. It's also causing skin inflammation, but this dermatitis, none of those. Dermatitis is mostly maybe autoimmune response, but most of those we don't know exactly. And dermatitis can be treated. This, you want to treat this one by antibiotics. You treat dermatitis by glucocorticoid. So, there are different treatments. And dermatosclerosis being part of the skin, dermatosclerosis. And again, this one is, it is, see, I think this is part of dermatitis. Dermatitis is a big category. Many things like eczema is one type of dermatitis. I believe dermatosclerosis is part of the dermatitis, but I'm not sure. You can check that out. And this one is an autoimmune attack. As you mentioned, autoimmune attack is the immune system that attack our own body. Many diseases cause the autoimmune attack, and then the autoimmune attack attacks skin, causing the hardened skin. And what's next? Let me see. Let me mention this one. This one first. Pachyderma. Pachyderma. What's it called? Pachyderma is also hardened and the thickening of the skin, but not caused by autoimmune, but also caused by genetic mutation, also inherited from previous generation. And clinically, how do they distinguish dermatosclerosis and then pachyderma? I believe they have a way, but I have no idea how to distinguish people myself. And this word itself is interesting because pachyderm. This word actually coming from pachyderma, coming from pachyderm, and pachyderm is not a word to describe human. It's a word to describe a group of animals that have a very thick skin. For example, elephants, and we mentioned before rhinoceros, or hippo. Hippo is the food of people. I don't even know what it is. Hippopotamus, and the femur. You can find it in the Bronx Zoo. So the pachyderm causing the being patient. Okay, let's keep moving. So, dermatoplasty. Dermatoplasty, you can see it's changing the shape of the skin. And how we do this? For example, I have a burn in my face, doesn't look good. Doctor take away this knee, and then have damage here. And what the doctor do is that I'll have here I have a thick leg, and the doctor will take some of the skin from mostly, I believe, most of those coming from the internal part of the thigh, taking this and patching to my face, the dermoplasty. And how you can slide this thing off is the next word. Using some tones. In many cases, tone is slice a very thin layer from something. Dermatome is slice one thin slice of the skin from my thigh and put it on my face. And dermatome, that's the machine, that's the instrument, just like a thin slice of the skin. Intradermal Your intradermal means inside skin. Basically, anything you say in the skin can intradermal. But in many cases, intradermal is used by intradermal injection. Before I have mentioned IV injection, intravenous injection. Intravenous injection is inject anything into the vein. Intradermal injection injects the into the into the skin and that. I mentioned here. So basically the needle coming all the way here, all the way here. Yes, never penetrate. Oh, it's that. The intradermal should not penetrate the dermis. And in some category, the subcutaneous layer of space is not even part of the skin. The most defined part of the skin is the epidermis and the dermis. So if you have intradermis injection, you should do something like this. Only in the dermis, not in the epidermis, not in maybe in the epidermis together. Maybe no, cannot be just in the dermis. Cannot be the epidermis or the subcutaneous, only the dermis. That's why we call it the intradermal injection. And okay. So, and what this used for? Allergies. That should be other use, but the best I know is most of the allergy tests using the intradermal injection. And there is another injection called the IP injection. IP injection is inject all the way passing the subcutaneous layer all the way into the cavity. So I think I passed a lot. Okay, I didn't mention this one. Okay, let me coming back. This one. Oh, derma. Dermatosis. Dermatosis. Basically a skin odor and not caused by inflammation or infection. So dermatosis is anything that's not dermatitis, not dermomyositis, and other skin disorder dermatosis. So let's see. Then we mentioned dermosclerosis and dermographic. Dermographic. What is dermographic? That's another thing. For example, here I have some scar. I have some scar here. Very bad scar. And how can I make it better? I use some kind of those sanding stuff. If you ever sand your moves, kind of things to sand it, to remove the scar on the surface. And then you see this bloody area will regrow, okay, regenerate. Given time, given enough time, they will grow. In most cases, not as good as the original undamaged skin, but much better than before. This is called dermographism. Leukoderma. Leuko mentioned white. Leukoderma means white skin. And this white skin is patchy white skin. It's different than albino. Albino, no, right? Albino. albinism. Albinism. Albinism is the lack of pigments in overall every places that people completely white. But the leukoderma is patchy one place and another places. Also the local loss, the loss of the capability of producing pigments in the local area. Moving, and then it's white skin. Next we talk a lot about the skin color. Then so the this is yellow skin. And yellow skin can be caused by many things. One of them is jaundice. And jaundice can be caused by liver disease. So white skin, yellow skin is the first thing you want to worry about liver disease because the liver is not metabolize in the bilirubin from the metabolize of the heme in the red blood cells. And another thing is pancreatic cancer can also have jaundice because it can block the bile so that all the liver can now push the bile into the feces to get oil and also in newborns in the same time. The newborns produce too many red blood cells to have the jaundice. And then yellow skin not necessarily to have be caused by jaundice. Another caused by yellow skin, another thing caused yellow skin is called carotinemia. Carotinemia is too much keratin. Keratin. I have something. Yeah, that's right. Too much keratin in the blood. Keratin. Where you can find keratin? Carrot. So, and largely because these people eat too much carrot, accumulate too much keratin in the blood, and then her whole skin look yellow or more like orange. So again, a very experienced physician, I believe, it's very easy for them to distinguish between jaundice and carotinemia. Carotinemia, I don't know how to pronounce it. They should be able to do so, but I have no idea. Okay, keep moving. Yeah. Oh, let me see. And those people, who are those people? The tell this, they're the top position that this skin is production. Further lesson. Kinosis. Kino is the some color between blue and this is cyan color, maybe some here, right? This is a cyan color, right? And so this is the cyanosis. Cyanosis means the skin showing this color. There's a blue color of the skin, mostly caused by low oxygen in the blood. And what's the word of low oxygen in the blood? Hypoxemia, right? Hypoxemia, hypoxemia, and it's dangerous. So if see anyone have the skin turn blue, maybe you want to intervene. And you may save this person if it's really low enough to blood. However, it happens also, for example, when I was in middle school, sometimes I fall asleep in the class, and then by accident my head was laid on top of my arm, that is full surface of my lap becomes bluish. That's okay. Later on we recover that. Not too long is fine, but it's too much time is too bad. The whole link may die actually. Okay, keep moving. breathe these red skin mostly due to inflammation. This inflammation they classify infection or injury. Israel is red in Greek, and interesting because we feel sights with red blood cell. Both words are actually used nowadays, but more than in the erythrocytes is not really more better than red blood cells. This is just regular word used by all ancient Greeks. Keep moving. And another thing, obviously, saw, do, re, da, ros, gland. What is this? What the hell is this one? This is just a sweat gland. This is my first time to know that sweat gland has another name. But anyway, I'm not really expert in this gene disorder. So far, I never see any papers of other things to use so-called reference point. But anyway, good you've noticed. I guess this point you do not know. Sweat gland is used very often nowadays. And then compared to sweat gland, another one, sebaceous gland. It's interesting. Sebaceous gland is also called oil gland. And theoretically, usually use sweat gland or oil gland. However, in many cases, they use sweat gland and the sebaceous gland. I guess sebaceous gland is easier to mention, and the oil gland is because this sebaceous gland produces sebum. Sebum is not really all oil. The sebaceous gland is the oil gland, and it produces kind of oil structure in this hair. So, hair follicle. The sebaceous gland is always equal to the hair follicle. In most cases, one sebaceous gland, one hair follicle. Keep moving. What's the next one? Exocrine. So exocrine gland it's not really exocrine is versus endo, and exocrine, endocrine. Endocrine means produce hormone into the blood. And there's another thing called para, to produce signal molecules to the interstitial fluid. And then exocrine produce many different things. Sometimes it can be enzymes, and of course oil, sweat, etc. And then produce into the enzyme can be into the lumen, and this to outside the body. So, in other words, to say so, actually endocrine is more specifically, more precisely described, produce hormone into the blood. Actually, hormone itself is not a definition. As long as this molecule, signal molecule, get into the blood, it's called hormone. So, endocrine is produce the things as a signal molecule into the blood. And the paracrine, also a signal molecule, but not into the blood. They just produce things around the original cell. The interstitial fluid is only a local influence. So it's a local. And those exocrine, those are produced things not to the blood, not to the interstitial fluid, but into the lumen and outside, and also it's not, in most cases, no, I want to say that it's not a single molecule, but actually some of those exocrine are actually sigmoid peripherals. But anyway, those are, as long as not in the blood, not into the interstitial fluid, under the body, into the lymph is polyps. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Subcutaneous, we mentioned, is just below the dermis. In some cases, you don't part, not even see part of the skin, but and the erector muscle. I mean, actually, erector means up. Pili. Pili means forming the small lump, and this is the muscle. And what's the function of those muscles? Here is our ear. Okay. And then you have and so this muscle contract, or this muscle contract, the hair will stand up. Yes. And he normally contract one. He wants body to may be warmer, or you want to have an enemy. When the hair stand up, you look bigger. You want to scare away the enemy. Yes. So in most cases, each hair has one muscle to control. Axillary trichomycosis. This is trichomycosis, axillary trichomycosis. This is a bacteria infection. This is a bacteria infection. I just mentioned mycosis is always fungal infection. I may not be correct. Double check. I mentioned before that all mycosis is a fungal infection. It may not be true. Anyway, you check that out. Okay. And there's a bacteria infect the here. How call it? And shaft, right? Called a shaft. Is that right? The shaft. The hair shaft. It just stay here. Very particular stay here. And then it can be in but it doesn't affect the hair. Your hair is too dense. They do not have enough space. The air, I don't know why. But it only affects those scarce hair, where we have scarce hair. In most cases, it's the axillary hairs. In some cases, of the pubic area, pubic hair. And anhidrosis. Oh, this is so many words. Anhidrosis. Hidrosis means sweating. Anhidrosis, no sweating. So no sweating is let's see. Okay. Yeah. Basically no sweating. In some cases, because for the burning, the burning of the skin damages all the sweat glands. No sweating. Or sometimes it's other problem, neurology. Sometimes neurology problem is sweating controlled by the nervous system. And then you can also have hyperhidrosis. Hyperhidrosis can be two causes. There's a primary, means only some of those areas has this hyperhidrosis in the hand or the axillary, and it's largely has a genetic background. Some people just tend to have more sweating there. It's nothing really serious. However, the secondary is very whole body. have too much stress, and they may reflect some other things more serious happening in the body. Okay, let's see. Biogenic. It's related to the past. I think it's related. It used to be called uh, uh, urea. Urea is the much house surrounding the food. But I believe it move forward. So, but anyway, let's we're almost done. So tired now. Melanocytes. Where's melanocytes? Is here. Melanocytes is at very bottom of the epidermis, and then melanocytes produce melanin. And melanin is the right melanin. Yes, is the pigments in the skin. It produces melanin, but it does not store melanin. It have multiple arms. It's given to the keratinocytes that give the color. So the and never mind. Now what I'm saying. Oh yeah. So melanocytes not only contribute to the skin color, but also to the hair color. The hair actually also made of keratinocytes. Only they bundle into a column, and then all in the hair, all cell when they bump into in this bundle, all cell died, and the hair getting gray or white because the sites no longer producing melanin. And let me see. Uh, and then melanocyte has also become, they can just keep producing, replicate, and lost control, become melanoma. Melanoma is I think I mentioned it's the most deadly, but double check. I'm not sure it's most deadly, but definitely most popular skin cancer. And what causes melanoma? What can cause melanoma? UV light. So this is one of the cancer we actually can prevent by the sunscreen. So last 2 words for this week. Redactally or retinoblastine. I don't even know how to spell them myself. This basically the facelifting. And how do they do this? Or something. Slide. I better not draw anything. So basically, it's the hair. Some wrinkles here. We basically cut open behind the hair, and then lift the face back. So stretch off the wrinkles and suture that with the face lifting. Lastly, seborrhea. Seborrhea means most happening where this have a lot of sebaceous gland, sebaceous gland, and the sebaceous gland there may produce a lot of skin oil, or in our skin, there are a lot of microbes living on our skin. For example, yeast, bacteria, and we have body odor, right? The body odor actually not coming. Most of those numbers are not coming from us, but also come from the microbe, the living on the skin. So if there's too much yeast, they also produce seborrhea. Seborrhea, actually, you can see this. Many people have, especially when they're in the puberty area. There's a red, itchy red reddish, and the itchy patch on the surface. If you something also see that the white flecks. So that's it. That's all for this week. Yes. Okay. I'll post more videos next week. Okay. Have fun. Bye bye.